Welcome to Health Podcast, your guide to better living. Welcome to Health Podcast, your weekly guide to better living. I'm Taylor, and if loving sugar is wrong, well, I don't want to be right.
And I'm Alex. Today we're talking about sugar. Is it, friend, enemy, or maybe just misunderstood?
Oh, it's definitely everywhere, isn't it? I mean, you walk into the grocery store, you open your cupboard, and bam, it's in everything.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the obvious stuff like candy, but like cereal, ketchup, even those snacks you think are healthy.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we need to unpack it today. It's just so pervasive. But the big question, the one we really need to answer is, what does sugar actually do to your body?
Exactly. Let's get into it. Let's find out.
Okay, so first things first, to really get it, we need to define what sugar even is, biologically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
When we talk about sugar generally, we're basically talking about simple carbohydrates. Think glucose, fructose, sucrose. Those are the main.
Glucose. That's the main fuel, right? For like everything.
Precisely.
Mm.
Glucose is your body's #1 preferred fuel source. Every cell uses it. Your brain, your muscles. It runs on glucose. It's the basic energy currency that keeps the whole system ticking. Need energy fast, your body goes straight for the glucose.
Okay, so sugar is fuel, energy. Got it. But it feels like, well, not all fuel is the same, is it? Like you wouldn't put cheap gas in a race car, Both are fuel, but different results.
That's actually a really good analogy, and it gets right to the heart of a critical point. The difference between natural sugars and refined sugars. Natural sugars, you find those in whole foods, fruits, vegetables, some dairy. And the key thing is they don't come alone. They're packaged with other stuff your body needs.
Like fiber and vitamins.
Exactly. Fiber, vitamins, minerals, the whole package.
So like an apple isn't just delivering sugar, it's bringing friends along.
Precisely. And that fiber is, well, it's incredibly important. Think of it like a speed bump in your digestive system, especially soluble fiber. It forms this kind of gel, right? And it physically slows down how quickly food moves through your gut.
Ah, okay. So it slows down the sugar hitting your bloodstream.
Yes, exactly. It regulates the absorption. So the glucose from that apple, it's released more slowly, more steadily, which means you get a smoother energy release, less of a big insulin spike.
Makes sense. Your body has time to deal with it, use it properly, instead of being totally overwhelmed.
That's it. Now, contrast that with refined sugars. These are the sugars that have been pulled out, processed, and then added to things. Sodas, candy, baked goods, countless processed snacks. And that refining process, it strips away pretty much all the fiber, the vitamins, the minerals. You're left with just pure concentrated sugar.
So no fiber means no speed bump. Just whoosh, straight into the system.
You got it. Without that fiber buffer, refined sugars hit your bloodstream super fast. And that causes a really sharp, really quick spike in your blood sugar levels. And, basic physiology tells us what goes up that fast often comes down even faster. Which leads us neatly into the whole energy roller coaster thing.
Okay, so let me try an analogy. Natural sugar, like in fruit, is like a steady battery. Keeps you going. But refined sugar, like candy, it's like lighting a match. Big flare-up. Poof! And then, nothing. Darkness.
That is a remarkably accurate analogy.
Yeah.
It really captures how differently your body handles them. One steady power, the other's a quick burst, and then a crash. Context is everything.
Right. And that crash, oh boy, we all know that feeling. The energy roller coaster. I am so familiar with this. Mid-afternoon slump hits, brain feels like mush.
Yep.
And what do I reach for? Instinctively, donut, candy bar, sugary coffee. And for like 20 glorious minutes, I feel alive, alert, ready to tackle anything.
Right. And then,
boom, the crash.
Suddenly you're just drained.
Let's break down what's happening biologically there. When you eat a lot of refined sugar, especially liquids, your blood glucose shoots way up, super fast.
Yeah.
Body sees this flood of energy and goes into overdrive to fix it. It releases insulin.
Insulin, the hormone from the pancreas.
Correct. Insulin's job is basically to unlock your cells, muscle, fat, liver, so glucose can get out of the blood and into them. Inside the cells, it's either used for energy right away or stored for later. So insulin's like the cleanup crew, working super fast to clear the sugar out of the blood.
Exactly. And sometimes, honestly, it's too good at its job. Especially with a massive sugar rush, what often happens is the pancreas kind of overreacts. It sends out a bit too much insulin. And that big insulin surge drives your blood glucose down really fast, often pushing it below the ideal level. That rapid drop, that's what you feel as a sugar crash.
And that's when I find myself basically wanting to curl up under my desk, feeling foggy, irritable, completely wiped out. And yeah, seriously, rethinking that donut decision, it's such a distinct feeling of just Sudden exhaustion.
It absolutely is. That feeling is your body, especially your brain, reacting to the sudden lack of its preferred fuel, glucose, in the bloodstream. It got shuttles away too quickly. But it's not just about feeling tired. These constant ups and downs, these sugar spikes and crashes, they mess with more than just energy. They have a real, measurable impact on your mood, your ability to concentrate, even your anxiety
Well, that's
levels.
anxiety too.
Oh, yes. When blood sugar spikes, you might feel agitated, restless, maybe even jittery. Then, when it crashes, you can become irritable, lethargic, unfocused, and more prone to feeling anxious or down. Your brain's just not running smoothly.
So it's not just sugar makes you hyper, then sleepy. It's more like sugar makes your whole system unstable. Emotionally, mentally.
That's a very good way to put it, unstable. And think long term, too. Constantly riding this roller coaster puts a huge strain on your body's metabolic systems. It can mess with your sleep.
Oh, I bet. Hard to sleep when you're crashing or wired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And poor sleep can actually make your body less sensitive to insulin. So it becomes this vicious cycle.
Sugar leads to bad sleep. Bad sleep makes sugar harder to handle. Ugh.
Precisely. And over time, this constant battle can pave the way for insulin resistance, weight gain, inflammation, and increase the risk for serious stuff like type 2 diabetes and heart disease. Your body's just constantly fighting to get back to balance, and that takes a toll.
Wow. That cycle sounds exhausting just thinking about it. We crave the sugar hit, get the spike, then the crash makes us crave it more. But you mentioned there's something deeper going on too, right, in the brain? It's not just physical energy.
Yes, that's where the neuroscience gets really fascinating. There's a powerful reason we crave sugar so intensely. When you eat sugar, especially the refined stuff, it triggers a big release of dopamine in your brain.
Dopamine, the feel-good chemical.
Well, feel-good is part of it, but it's more accurately the brain's reward and motivation chemical.
Hmm?
It's part of this ancient system designed to make us repeat behaviors crucial for survival, like eating, drinking water, things that keep us alive.
So sugar basically tells our brain, yes, this is good, do this again, like puppies,
Yeah.
or finding the perfect parking spot, that kind of satisfaction.
Exactly like that. That intense pleasure, that dopamine hit, creates a really strong reward loop. Your brain learns. Sugar, reward. So it reinforces the behavior. Eat sugar, feel good, want more sugar. The more you do it, the more your brain starts to expect, even anticipate that hit. And that leads to powerful cravings.
So it goes from just wanting something sweet to like a habit, almost an urge you can't ignore.
Absolutely. That's the mechanism. That's why sugar can feel so habit-forming, and for some people, it can really mimic addictive patterns. Your brain starts actively seeking that dopamine rush. You need more and more just to feel normal or to get that same level of satisfaction. And here's the really tricky part. Over time, chronic high sugar intake can actually make those dopamine receptors less sensitive.
Wait, less sensitive, so the good feeling gets weaker.
Kind of, yeah. It means your brain needs more sugar to get the same rewarding feeling it used to get from less. It's called receptor downregulation, a classic sign of addictive processes. You need a bigger dose for the same effect.
Hmm.
It creates this escalating cycle. You need more sugar just to feel okay, leading to even stronger cravings and higher intake. It's a tough feedback loop.
Okay, my mind is slightly blown. So that cookie I need after lunch, that's not just me being weak-willed. That's my brain's reward system basically demanding its fix, and maybe the receptors are getting a bit worn out.
That's a huge part of it. Understanding that biology can be really empowering, though. It's not a moral failing.
Yeah, definitely shifts the perspective. It's biology you can work with, not just fight against.
Exactly. And another quick point here, how different sugars are processed. Fructose, for example, mostly found in sweeteners and added sugars, is almost entirely handled by your liver.
Unlike glucose, which cells everywhere use.
Right. And when the liver gets hit with too much fructose too fast, it starts turning it into fat. That's called lipogenesis. This can lead to fat building up in the liver, contributing to non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Even if you don't drink alcohol, it's a direct burden on the liver.
Okay, so different sugars impact different organs too. Good to know. Speaking of things we consume, let's talk about the really sneaky part. Hidden sugars. This is where it gets super tricky because you think you're being healthy and sugar's just hiding.
It's a huge challenge. Food companies are very, very good at adding sugar where you don't expect it. It makes things taste better, last longer.
Okay, let's play a game. Hidden sugar spotlight. I name a food, you tell me if it's a likely sugar culprit. Ready?
Ready. Let's expose them.
All right, first one. Salad dressing. Seems healthy enough, right? Oil, vinegar.
Classic example. Many dressings, especially light or low-fat ones, are loaded with added sugar. They use it to balance the sourness, improve the flavor, make it taste good, basically.
Okay. Granola bars. They look so wholesome. Oats, nuts.
Another big one. A lot of them are basically candy bars in disguise, held together with sugars, syrups, often have chocolate chips, other sweet bits. The health halo is strong, but you got to read the label.
Pasta sauce. Come on, it's tomatoes. Savory.
Yeah, surprisingly often, yes. Sugar cuts the acidity of the tomatoes, makes the sauce taste richer or more appealing to the masses. It's a common trick in processed sauces.
And the big one, low-fat yogurt. The ultimate healthy swap for decades.
Ah, yes. Probably the sneakiest. When they take the fat out, they lose flavor and texture. So what do they add back in? Sugar. Lots of it. That low-fat label often means high sugar. It's incredibly misleading. So yes, almost all of them have significant added sugar.
Wow. All of them. That just shows how hard it is, even when you're trying to be good. It's like sugar hide and seek, and we're always losing.
That's a perfect way to put it. And making it even harder, sugar has like over 50 different names on labels.
50. Seriously.
Seriously, it's not an accident. It helps hide how much is really in there. You might scan for sugar and miss cane juice, maltodextrin, corn syrup, agave, dextrose.
Okay, give me more examples. What else should I be looking for, besides the obvious ones?
Okay, look for anything ending in O's, like sucrose, fructose, dextrose, maltose. Watch out for syrup, corn syrup, rice syrup, malt syrup. Also things like evaporated cane juice, barley malt, beet sugar, fruit juice concentrate, honey, molasses. The list goes on and on.
Oh my God.
If you see several of these listed, even if they aren't the very first ingredient, the total amount can add up really fast.
So even when I'm trying to be careful, sugar's sneaking in like a ninja. It feels totally rigged.
It can feel that way.
Yeah.
And all this hidden sugar adds up. The average American consumes something like 17 teaspoons of added sugar every single day.
17.
Teaspoons, yep. And that's often way more than double, sometimes triple what's recommended. And a lot of it, as we've said, is consumed without even realizing it.
Okay, 17 teaspoons, that's a lot. Which brings us right to the main question. How much sugar is actually too much? There has to be a limit, right?
There absolutely is. And we can look to health organizations for guidance. The American Heart Association, the AHA, has clear recommendations for added sugars. Remember, this isn't about the sugar naturally in fruit. For women, they say no more than 25 grams a day. That's about 6 teaspoons.
Six.
And for men, it's no more than 36 grams, which is about 9 teaspoons.
Wait a minute, 6 teaspoons?
Mm-hmm.
9 teaspoons, that's like one fancy coffee drink and maybe half a muffin, right? That's basically nothing in the modern food world.
That's exactly the point. It shows how incredibly easy it is to blow past those limits, sometimes with just one single item. That coffee shop concoction or that big bakery muffin could easily have your whole day's worth of added sugar or even more. And that's before you even think about lunch or dinner.
Wow. Okay, so that 17 teaspoon average suddenly looks even more alarming. We're eating 2 or 3 times what we should be on average.
It's a huge discrepancy, yes. And this chronic overload is a major driver behind so many of the metabolic health issues we see rising. Type 2 diabetes, obesity, heart problems. It puts constant strain on your body, especially your pancreas, trying to manage all that insulin.
Yeah.
Which leads to insulin resistance.
Right, you mentioned that. Can you explain insulin resistance a bit more? What's actually happening?
Sure. Insulin resistance is basically when your cells, muscle, fat, liver cells, stop responding properly to insulin's signal. Think of insulin as the key trying to open the cell door to let glucose in. With resistance, the lock gets sticky, the key doesn't work as well.
Okay.
So your pancreas has to pump out more insulin to force the door open. At first, it keeps up, but you end up with really high insulin levels circulating. High insulin itself promotes fat storage, especially belly fat and inflammation.
Not good.
Not good. And eventually, the pancreas can get worn out, it can't produce enough insulin anymore, and that's when blood sugar starts to rise, leading towards prediabetes and type 2 diabetes. It's wear and tear on the system.
Okay, wow, that's really sobering. I always just thought I had a sweet tooth, not that I was potentially contributing to this whole metabolic mess, but hearing those numbers, how easy it is to go over, it makes you realize the scale of it. It feels less like an indulgence and more like a hidden epidemic.
It really does. But here's the empowering part. Knowing this gives you the power to change things. And it doesn't have to be some extreme all-or-nothing approach. Small changes add up.
Okay, yes. Let's talk practical stuff. Because honestly, hearing all this can feel overwhelming. Like you have to quit sugar entirely, which, let's be real, isn't happening for most of us. So what can someone actually do? Someone who likes sweets but wants to cut back smartly without going totally crazy.
Great question. The focus should be on smart, sustainable choices, not deprivation. Number one, most powerful tool, read labels. Seriously, become a label detective. We know sugar hides under 50-plus names, so turn the package over. Look at the ingredients list. They're listed by weight.
So if sugar or cane juice or corn syrup is near the top, red flag.
Big red flag. And be extra suspicious of anything labeled low-fat or diet. They almost always swap fat for sugar. Don't fall for it. Read the nutrition facts panel and the ingredients.
Got it. Label detective mode activated. What's next?
Next, maybe the simplest but most impactful. Prioritize whole foods. Focus on eating more real food. Fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, whole grains, things that don't need a long ingredient list. When you grab an apple instead of an apple-flavored snack bar, you get natural sugar plus fiber, vitamins, the whole beneficial package.
Right. Swap the processed stuff for actual food. Sounds simple, but easy to forget when you're busy.
It is. Another huge win. Hydrate smart. Sugary drinks are a massive source of hidden sugar. Sodas, juices, energy drinks, those fancy coffees.
Guilty as charged on fancy coffee sometime.
They deliver a huge sugar hit with zero fiber. Very tough on blood sugar. Just swapping those for water, plain tea, or black coffee makes a huge difference in your daily sugar intake.
Okay, that's a concrete swap I can definitely make. Good tip.
And number 4, don't skip meals. Might sound basic, but stable blood sugar is key to fighting cravings. Skipping meals lets your blood sugar drop too low. Then you get ravenous and your body screams for quick energy, usually sugar.
Ah, so eating regular balanced meals prevents that desperation.
Exactly. Protein, fiber, healthy fats at each meal keep things steady. You're less likely to have those intense biologically driven sugar cravings hit you out of nowhere.
Preemptive strike against the sugar monster. I like it.
And finally, this takes a bit of patience. Retrain your taste buds. Our palates adapt. Eat lots of super sweet stuff, and less sweet things taste bland. But the reverse is true too. If you gradually cut back on added sugar, less sugar in your coffee each week, choosing plain yogurt and adding fruit instead of the pre-sweetened kind, your taste buds actually become more sensitive to sweetness over time.
Really? So fruit will taste sweeter?
It absolutely will. And those super sugary things might start tasting too sweet. Your cravings naturally decrease. It's biological adaptation. It works.
Okay, so I can still have chocolate, just maybe not, like the triple chocolate fudge explosion sundae every night.
Exactly. Which leads to the main principle. Moderation is key. This isn't about zero sugar forever. That's not realistic or fun for most people. It's about being conscious of your sugar intake, making informed choices, understanding the impact, enjoying treats mindfully in a way that adds joy without wrecking your health. Quality over quantity.
That feels doable, manageable, not about perfection, just awareness. Okay, cool. Now let's do a quick myth-busting round. Rapid fire. There's so much bad info out there. You ready?
Bring it on. Let's bust some myths.
Myth number 1. Sugar gives you lasting energy. True or false?
False. Short spike, long crash. We covered that.
Yeah.
Lasting energy comes from balanced meals, complex carbs, protein, fat, not a sugar rush.
Okay. Myth 2. Fruit is bad because it has sugar. True or false?
False. Big misconception. Fruit sugar comes with fiber, vitamins, minerals. The fiber totally changes how your body absorbs it. Way different and way healthier than added sugar. Don't fear the fruit.
Phew. Good. Keeping my apples. Last one, big one. Artificial sweeteners are always better than sugar. True or false?
That one's mixed. It's not a simple yes or no.
Oh, why mix?
Well, calorie-wise and for immediate blood sugar, yes, they can help some people cut back, especially if managing diabetes, for instance. But the long-term research is still unfolding. Some studies suggest they might mess with your gut bacteria.
Or microbiome. Yeah, heard about that.
Right. And others suggest they might not actually help with cravings. Some people find that sweet taste, even without calories, just keeps them wanting more sweet stuff. It doesn't help retrain the palate.
So it might just swap one habit for another.
Potentially. The goal probably shouldn't be just switching to sweeteners, but rather reducing overall reliance on intense sweetness, whatever the source, appreciating natural flavors more.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, good to know. I am seriously rethinking half my pantry contents after this conversation. Need to start reading those labels like a hawk.
That's the spirit. Informed awareness is power.
So, bottom line, big picture takeaway from all this. What's the main message?
Sugar itself isn't evil. It's energy. But the way we consume it now, tons of added, hidden, refined sugar, that's the problem. The goal isn't fear, it's information. Understand how it works in your body, in your brain. You don't have to quit sugar entirely, but you absolutely need to question it. Where's it coming from? How much am I really eating? is it serving my health?
Preach. That's so practical. I'm going to look at every potential treat now and ask, okay, are you actually worth it?
And sometimes,
Uh,
mindfully, in moderation. The answer can absolutely be yes. Balance, understanding, empowerment,
hmm?
not deprivation.
Perfectly put. This has been incredibly eye-opening. Thanks for tuning in to Health Podcast. We hope this look at sugar helps you make more conscious choices. If you want more real talk about what's really in your food, definitely like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you next week.